Hello, this is Guy King, and you're listening to the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to yet another edition of the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. Yes, you heard that right, Loudini Rock and Roll Circus, like Houdini, but Loudini, like my name, Lou Lombardi. I'm Lou Lombardi, a.k.a. Loudini. You're listening to the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. This is another one of our great interviews we have here today. And I have the amazing, truly, like, this guy is so classy. I don't even know how, he ended up on this show with me, but I'm honored. We've got the amazing Guy King, master of the Telecaster, with us today. Before we get into all that, though, I'd like to thank my longtime and long-suffering sponsor, Positively Pittsburgh Live Magazine, pplmag.com, Pittsburgh's first internet radio, TV network, and online community magazine business directory. You can listen to and watch and download all kind of audio and video created by members of the community. You can get great articles on how to do different things and learn all kind of amazing stuff. There's coupons. You can find businesses. It's a very cool place. And you can listen to great podcasts like this one. And once again, that is pplmag.com. Now, the gentleman that I have with us on the line today is a tremendous blues guitarist, but he's really carved out his own sound, his own style. He's a very distinctive voice and very distinctive guitar style. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Guy King. Welcome, Guy.
Hello, Lou. How are you? Thank you very much.
I'm doing great. And you have the right name for blues, man.
They seem to work, It seemed to be pretty catchy,
No, you're in a long line of kings, my friend. So you're in good company.
That's very nice of you. I'm just hoping to do my best,
Yeah, for sure. Give us a little bit about your background, because we're listening to some of your records, and how did you get started? First of all, how did you get started playing the guitar? I'm assuming that's probably where it started for you.
Yeah, it's I was actually born and raised in Israel, and I came to America. I came to the States later. I started very early actually singing before I was playing an instrument.
Oh,
then
okay.
Then I was playing the clarinet at the age of 7. I picked up a guitar that we had at the house because my brother played some at about 13 years old, like a classical nylon string guitar, and started accompanying different songs that you hear, something like pop or classic rock, just trying to strum along with your vocals. So that was the beginning, but the strings felt good, the guitar felt good, and very soon after I started finding myself playing lead guitar, playing solos, figuring out, the positions and how to make it, how to kind of make it sing, to be expressive. Mm-hmm. And this was it. From that, from listening to some the more popular stuff, maybe Clapton or Hendrix or Stevie Ray Vaughan, very early on I got attached to, I understood that he came from somewhere, being, through liner notes about Robert Johnson or B.B. King or Albert King, and it wasn't easy still in Israel tracing, even getting the records back then, but I was able to find a couple. It was very difficult. I had to kind of, cross fields on the way to the city to walk, because I grew up in a small village, small country town, and get to the city, take a bus, try to ask for it. A month later, you would get the record, and I would, make the same trip to get to my little country town and just sit with the record and try for my guitar to sound like B.B. King or to sound like Albert King, and, kind of like music started this way. Even listening to like Stevie Wonder, I remember, and some rhythm and blues as well. And through playing some orchestral stuff as on the clarinet, I had a certain affection and love for jazz as well. So things started to gel. But the blues guitarist at that time of my early teens definitely took center stage of me trying to be like them.
So wait a minute. You learned to play before you even came to the United States. Is that what you're?
Yes.
If I understand
correctly?
That's
the truth. That's the truth.
And you're playing Hendrix and Clapton and everything on a nylon string guitar.
Not the leads. Back then it was more me accompanying, playing some chords and, playing
okay.
some, kind of to sing either what was common then in Israel, which was like poppy music, or trying to figure out like a certain song. Then I remember my oldest brother bringing home a Clapton CD and a Marvin Gaye CD, and the Clapton having a lot of guitar on it. I remember within a month, my brother came home and hearing me upstairs. There was one electric guitar that I did not have an amplifier, and it was really difficult to play. So I tried to kind of strum to. I still have it, by the way. I tried to play the solos, and about a month or two after, I did, and he came home and was like, asked my mother, what is it upstairs? And she was like, that's your brother. So I started like listening to the things, and it really made a lot of sense to me. I had a lot of love to these things, and and the same thing even more when I heard about Albert King. I remember listening to Blues Power, the song Blues Power, and really that really drove me into to try to figure this thing out, how exactly you can make the guitar sting like that and sing like that and be as expressive and be as powerful as it can be. So I started just singing and, trying to make my guitar sing like the records that I love so much.
Okay, when did you when did you come to the United States?
At 16 years of age, I was a part of a touring band, a vocal touring band that came to the States for a tour of about 3 or 4 months. I did that tour and gave me an opportunity to be here in the States and look at things and perform a lot as a vocalist and see the States. And I loved the things that I saw and saw that the music was real. It wasn't just something on a record. It was really in the streets, and I loved that. Yeah. And then I went to Israel. I finished the tour, and I finished high school there, and I did 3 years in the Army and came here again at 21 years of age to Memphis, Tennessee, spend a short while there, then to New Orleans, really soaking the music in, listening to things, watching the sights, seeing the things that are actually real, not just the liner notes that I read on a B.B. King record or a Ray Charles record. It was pretty amazing for me, It was really wonderful. And in Memphis, I got a hold of a few Ray Charles albums that started being a big influence on me, and some Louis Armstrong, Gatemouth Brown, T-Bone Walker, Robert Johnson. Came to Chicago, heard more Albert Collins, Freddie King, and Otis Rush. And I came here to Chicago. I even met Otis Rush, and shortly after, the great Willie Kent just asked me to start playing guitar for him, and I was like, okay, yep. So I went quickly and got myself an amplifier. I remember being at the store and people asking me, man, you can really play. Where are you from? And I told them, well, I was very shy. I was 21 years old and came here by myself, with a suitcase and a guitar, and finally got myself a tube amplifier and started playing,
So let's talk a little bit, because you have a very interesting guitar sound and guitar style. I would before we talk about that real quick. You also have a very sultry kind of vocal style too. It's not real. It's very soulful, but it's not real gruff or growly like you don't have the Howlin' Wolf type sound.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your sound is
I know what you're
very
saying.
Smooth. So was that because of the sort of the vocal music you sang in Israel, or have you cultivated this sound?
I listened to a lot of things. I really, really did. I listened to a lot of Howlin' Wolf and a lot of Muddy Waters. You can tell that Muddy Waters himself, in comparison to Wolf, is a lot cleaner. His natural voice is clean, Mm-hmm. Even Robert Johnson, that was a big influence on me, was very clean as well. Ray Charles is a little grittier, and if you could tell at certain points on the record, I do like to dig in, but
you dig in here
yes, but it's at certain spots, B.B. King, that I love listening to sing. Young B.B. King was as clean as he can have a voice, And maybe Marvin Gaye and Sam Cooke are cleaner to as far as the vocal qualities. And I think another big influence on me vocally, a musician who I think is one of the best that ever stepped foot on Earth and in the States, was the great Nat King Cole. And I cite all of these as influence. I think it's kind of important to try to use the qualities that you have, and maybe I was able to channel to this more recently, and not trying to. I think Howlin' Wolf that was his talking voice pretty much. And Louis Armstrong too. They did not trying to sound like somebody they were not. And I think I'm trying to work the set of skills that I have for it to be natural and true, and hopefully the listeners can relate to it as well, because I'm trying to be myself, and trying to just master the instruments that I received.
Well, I mean, I think that it really comes through because it is very heartfelt. It's a really heartfelt sound and very, very, very moving. Now, I want to talk a little bit about because you have a very interesting guitar style too. You play almost exclusively with the thumb.
That's true, Luke.
Okay,
that's true.
And like you know who Wes Montgomery was, of course.
And so you know what? I love Wes.
I think Wes Montgomery when I see that. But talk a little bit about the thumb.
That's a great Wes Montgomery tune called The Thumb that I play sometimes. I will tell you the truth again, since the new record is truth, and I like using this line. But I knew of Wes Montgomery when I left the pick. When I joined Willie Kent's band, when I started playing guitar, I did not have a pick. I did not own a pick, so I strummed with my fingers, but more like arpeggios with all 5 fingers, kind of like a country player, a Delta player or a country player would play acoustic guitar.
Okay.
Then I found a flat pick, or I was given a flat pick, and started picking with a pick as I saw a video of Clapton or B.B. King. And when I joined Willie Kent's band, I was actually playing with a pick, and shortly after, I think I held the pick in a way that kind of, I held it sideways, that allowed me to play with the pick, but also have a touch in the thumb. I like the sound this way more. And shortly and surely, I just put the pick away, mostly by watching a few clips of Albert King, who played with his thumb, and Albert Collins, who played with his finger, and Gatemouth came to town and played with a finger, Gatemouth Brown. And I said, you know what, let me try without. And I discovered that the sound was a lot more unique to me. It allowed me to find my own touch. I was able to feel the guitar a little bit better, I felt. I lost some speed. I remember the first night I kind of got scared that I couldn't be as fast, but I remember Willie Kent telling me that, he said, wow, what did you do tonight? I said, I did not play with the pick. He said, just keep that. You sounded like yourself. And he was right. And after he, like about a couple of years after that, I got a hold. I was getting more into jazz through Jim McGriff, through Charlie Parker and Ray Charles. And I picked up a Wes Montgomery album, actually the incredible jazz guitar Wes Montgomery. And then I saw that he played with his thumb. I remember almost wanting to, I kind of I'm like, I don't want to, I wasn't sure if I want to play piano or guitar. I wanted to play more piano by that point. And when I heard him, I said, you know what? You have a lot more to do on this instrument. I heard Wes and I was really inspired. And I thought then that, if I practice a little bit, then or a lot, I could increase the speed, because Wes played wonderful and very accurate as well and very fast. Yeah. I don't think you need to play. Personally, I don't see a need to play faster than the speed that he accomplishes at fast tempo. So it really gave me hope that it could even be done, because I wasn't, I did not know that he picks with his thumb. And then when I saw it, I was like, wow, this is great, So, I pick mostly with my thumb. When I play acoustic or when I play more Delta style or more finger, I do pick with my with the rest of my fingers if I would like to play, let's say, a Robert Johnson song or Lightning Hopkins. But as far as the solo that you hear, my solo playing with my band, it's pretty much exclusively with just anchoring my right hand on the guitar and picking with my right thumb.
Before because I want to get into the record and all that, but I have to ask, why the Telecaster?
Wow, Lou, I'm telling you something. As a child, I think I did not like the shape of the Telecaster too much, I have to tell you, and I did not. Again, coming from a small place, I didn't have a large an opportunity to see or feel instruments. So I think I had a black, I saved money and bought a Stratocaster because everybody played one. You know, it was the most popular guitar. And then I came to the United States, and I knew that I saw on an album cover of Albert Collins, I Speak, and he played a Telecaster, and a few Muddy Waters played a Telecaster. I still did not like it. I have to tell you the truth. I liked what they were doing, but I was not a big fan. One day I walked to a store here in Chicago, and I saw a wall of a few old Telecasters. One, for some reason, looked very appealing to me. It was older, it was blonde. It is the one on the cover of the record, by the way. And I picked it up, and it felt wonderful. It was responsive. I bent one note, and it just went the right way. It felt really like it was a part of my hand, the way the guitar felt. Back then, the guitar was not... I don't know. I was very shocked. I remember people turning online and said, "Wow, what is it?" I'm like, "I don't know. What is this guitar?" And he told me a little bit about it. And it was that particular guitar that I was able to get then. And it really helped me. You know, I felt like I was coming to my own sound. And then I grew to love, after, it was really that particular guitar. It wasn't really because it was a Telecaster. It was that particular one that I had the chance of holding in my hands and playing. It feels really good. Then I started loving the fact that it's very simple. You have to pretty much play a Telecaster. It's very revealing. It is only one tone, one volume, two pickups, one switch. It's pretty much, you know, it leaves me an opportunity to express myself with less of messing with effects and pedals. I do not own any effects, so the only thing I have is a guitar and my Fender Quad Reverb, the old quads that I played through. And I like the simplicity of a Telecaster, the fact that it allows you to be accurate. It allows you to cut through and be warm at the same time, if you know how to, you know, how to locate your fingers and your hands on the guitar. So I like the simplicity.
It's one of those guitars that you know, you see somebody committed to the Telecaster, you could tell that guitar grabbed them, and like it just, you know. And that's it, and it won't let go. I mean, guys that love Telecasters, they're like, you know, and then the rest of the world is scratching their head, you know. You know, why are you playing that? That's the first guitar that was ever made. It's like, why would you drive? I had a guy at the Lucier ask me, thinking, why do you play Telecaster? You wouldn't drive a Model T Ford. I'm like, I don't know, man. It just speaks to me, right? You know. So,
I hear you.
But let's talk about
it. Just feels good. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's simple and it feels good. It plays good. I used a couple of big boxes when I played jazz, but you know, now I even do this on the Telecaster. It's comfortable. And the truth if I go on the road, I mean, it fits in a small case. It's strong. It's a durable guitar, and it feels right. You know, I don't know. It does the job for me, I think.
Absolutely. Oh, it sure does. Okay, let's talk about your new. There's so much we could talk about because you did a record with Robert Johnson songs where you played acoustic. We don't have time to get into everything. But really, I could talk to you for like a long time, but we'll narrow it down. Let's talk about the new record. It's called Truth, and let's talk a little bit about the songs. Now is this all originals or did you bring in some remakes? And you worked with somebody to help you write, correct?
Yes, that's correct. I did do quite a few standards on it, a few remakes. First, I had Dick Sherman produced the record. Dick and I have been close friends. He produced Otis Rush and Albert Collins, so it was wonderful for me that he thought enough of me to want to produce my album, and it was a wonderful cooperation between us. And we talked about tunes. There are a couple of tunes that were done by B.B. King, and as soon as we decided to do the record, very short while after B.B. King passed away, and it was obvious for me that I wanted to pay my tribute. And I did a couple of Dick Sherman brought to the table Bad Case of Love, the old B.B. King number, which I did my arrangement and brought the horns and my background vocalist to sing with me. There Must Be a Better World Somewhere is also one I did by him. There are a few Ray Charles nods and Percy Mayfield, who is also an influence on me. I did an old jazzier standard called, you probably remember this one, I Got a Right to Sing the Blues, that I first heard Louis Armstrong do. And an Albert King, one by the great Albert King, If the Washer Don't Get You, the Wrenching Will. Also, Johnny Guitar Watson. It's about the dollar bill. We wanted to touch different aspects of my music. Soul and rhythm and blues. We did Seesaw and the opening track. And the original material, there's one called an instrumental that I wrote for the session titled King Thing. That gives me a chance to stretch out and play some. And 3 more original cuts that I had a wonderful pleasure of writing with Mr. David Ritz, who co-wrote the autobiography of Ray Charles and B.B. King and Buddy Guy and Willie Nelson and Aretha Franklin and so many wonderful musicians. We met here in Chicago, and he enjoyed my live show. He was with Buddy Guy, actually, at Buddy Guy's Legends, and he came to see the show. Buddy told him that he should see me play live, and he came, and we became friends, and we wrote the title track, Truth, another song that I had the pleasure of writing with him called My Happiness, which I'm featuring a wonderful vocalist by the name of Sarah Mary Young, who sings the duet with me, and A Day in the Life with the Blues, which is a more straight blues cut that we wrote for the record as well.
When you sit down to when you're going to plan out a record, I mean, your sound is very well developed. I mean, going through, you do have the acoustic record that we talked about, but it seems like you kind of came out kind of pretty well formed in terms of like what you're going to do with the sort of like big band backing you up and everything like that. Like, how did you sort of like kind of like settle on that? I mean, because Truth carries that sound, of course, through there. How did it, talk about that a little bit for me?
Yeah, of course. Again, I have to say that it's probably rooted in me. Playing the horn, playing the clarinet as a young kid, I always loved the sound of a horn section or an orchestra behind you. Being a big fan of Ray Charles, of Nat Cole, of Louis Armstrong, of B.B. King and Albert King, these of T-Bone Walker. These gentlemen always almost always had a semi-larger band, even if it's a smaller configuration with a few horns. So I think that I listen and I write music kind of having that in the back of my mind, kind of like I will come up with a line or with a lyric, and I will already hear kind of the big picture, how I want the drums to lay it down, where the bass goes, and almost kind of in my left ear, like I would like the horns to come here and to lay a pass for me, or to come and nail the dagger to let me swing, swing a note around it. So I think I kind of, it's part of the sound for me. I mean, I do enjoy other types of music that do not have horns, but you hear it through Truth. Everything was preconceived. I had the horn arrangements. I did them before we came to the studio. Everything was like intact. I rehearsed my rhythm section, I rehearsed the horn section separately, and I rehearsed my the background vocalist separately, and came up with different arrangements that I wanted to complement the big picture and allow me to, kind of dance on top, sing and put the guitar leads on top. It's I like it. It's kind of like a game, not like a nice game that you can kind of entertain with different parts weaving in and out and allow you to enjoy a full picture.
Now, how do you negotiate this with touring? Do you take a big band on the road, or how does that work? Because it's really a big part of your sound. I mean, I'm sure you're not going to go out as a sort of 3-piece act.
Yeah, there are a few things. Being in Chicago for a while, I had a few different formats. I do perform solo. I do solo shows, which is just me playing, the solo material. If it's like jazzier standards and also Delta blues. But when I travel with the band, I either I have a format of keeping my rhythm section and adding 2 horns. In the record, you hear a lot of the material has only 2 horns. Some has 3. So the tenor and the trumpet, having them as well as my pianist, drummer, and bass, gives me I can modify the arrangements just a little bit and still make it sound like as good as the record, as full as the record. So, and that for budget issues, with this myself and a 5-piece band, I'm able to duplicate the sounds from the record and have you come see live what you hear on the record, which is not easy, as you know, traveling with a 5-piece and yourself, but it's doable more than a 10-piece,
Oh, yeah, yeah. So what? So tell us what's when did Truth come out? What, a few months ago, or?
Yeah, not even. It's a month. It came out in February.
It came out in February.
In the middle of February.
So what's coming up? What's the next 6 to 12 months look like for Guy King?
Wow. Well, that's, I hope, Lou, that it looks like I could come everywhere possible with my full band and perform live and perform at more festivals and put my foot in more places physically, so you can, so I can enjoy the places and the people hopefully can enjoy what I bring to the table live, because you have all the energy and the things that that should be better than listening to the record. So I'm hoping that the record could open us more doors and to be able to bring the music live to more wonderful venues, more cities, more towns in the United States and abroad.
Do you have a tour planned yet, or that just you haven't gotten that far yet?
Yeah, there is I'm performing a lot around Chicago. You can see it looks like in June I'll be coming to California to do a series of shows in LA, in Southern California, and I'm looking to extend it to more. I just had a couple of contacts to do something overseas. I'm hoping to get back to Brazil. Nothing is other than the things I told you that were already approved and can be advertised. We are working on more things. I'm open to more possibilities because we feel hot and ready, and we love to bring the music live. So we are adding more things as we go, and it's all a question of supply and demand. So as hopefully the demand seems to grow, and I'll be more than happy to supply it by arriving to the places physically and performing.
Go anywhere, right? If they want to hear you,
I would. We really record it because knowing that we can duplicate it live, or we can do it as good as the record, or even better because you can see us sweat while we're playing. So it will really be a pleasure to travel with the record and with extra material that I did before, and that hopefully I'll be able to record on the next record and bring it physically to the venue. It will be wonderful.
Okay, so how can people, in the meantime, keep up with what you have going on, and if they are in the Chicago area or maybe later on this year out in LA or California, how can they find out what's going on with you? Give us the information.
Yeah, of course, Lou. You can see it through my website. It's guyking.net, and you can see all of my information, new releases, new videos that are coming out. It seems like we'll be releasing a video for the title track for Truth in the next few days as well. And the calendar will be updated. Again, it's guyking.net. You can join my email list there, and you can join the Facebook page and the Instagram page and keep in touch with me personally and see when we are coming to your town, and ask for us as well to come, I mean, festivals and venues do listen to their paying customers. So if people are enjoying my music, and I'm thrilled, I'm in awe, and it'll be my pleasure to come and perform personally.
Pittsburgh is a pretty big blues town, and I do know some folks, so I will definitely float it and see if we can maybe get you out here, because I would love to see you. I would love to see you live. I watched a few YouTube videos of you, and I could see the energy, the passion, and just the total virtuoso playing too. So that really
thank you.
Be exciting.
Well, that's so nice of you, Lou. Now you tell me something. Isn't George Benson originally from Pittsburgh?
George Benson is originally from Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Well, Benson is another one, a wonderful guitarist that's an influence on me. And I think from Pennsylvania, a lot of my Jimmy McGriff came around from the Art Blakey, Errol Garner. These are all of the above I mentioned are some of my largest influence, some of my biggest influences. It will be really even more of a pleasure to come to your town and play.
We'll see if we can get the word out for you. Anything that you want to, any closing comments, anything you want to say before we wrap up here?
Again, I am thankful for you having me on your show, and you can see me at guyking.net to see what I do and where we're doing it. And I want to thank you, Lou. I had a wonderful time. Thank you for for the questions and your interest in my music and in my new album, Truth.
If you could hang on, I'm going to wrap things up, but I would like to ask you a bonus question. You got a minute for that? You got time for that?
Of course.
Okay. All right. Hey, guys, you've been listening to my interview here with Guy King. And Guy is just an amazing musician. You've got to go check it out. Go to guyking.net, and you can find everything there. There's a great sort of samples and some excellent videos where you can kind of get up close and personal with Guy. Just go check it out at guyking.net. Guys, you have been listening to the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. That is LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com, and you can go there every Wednesday. There's a new interview, and every Saturday there's a new music podcast. One more time, thank my sponsor, Positively Pittsburgh Live, pplmag.com. And guys, if you would like to get involved and support independent music, please go to the website supportindierock.com. That is supportindierock.com, where you can become a part of what we have going on here to promote these amazing artists that just, they're not going to make it onto probably not make it on commercial radio. They're not going to be on The Voice or American Idol or anything like that. This is the real music, and we need to get out there and show our support for it. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Guy King, thank you, and we'll catch you on the next podcast.